finances are in the pits, my kids are all sick, and to top it all off, my wife is thinking about leaving me. What on earth is God doing in my life?
I was teaching out in the rurals one time, and a man came in with no legs and with crutches. It was really difficult. And he listened to me teach this, and he was weeping. And he came up after and he said to me, "You mean I'm not a mistake?" I said, "Oh, no, you have a unique set of good works that are very special." "You mean I do?" I said, "What? Don't you?" "Yes, I'm able to minister to other people who are suffering like no one else." "Do you love Jesus?" "Yes, I do." "Did you ever thank him for giving you a hard one to do?" Did you ever thank him? "Not yet, but today I'm going to thank him." And he went away a changed man. Why was he changed? He understood the ways of God. Isn't God terrific? He's just terrific. Number 4. Look at this one. God ordains each person to complete specific and unique good works. Then the word of the Lord came to me, a prophet, Jeremiah. Look what God is saying here. It's everything we've been saying. Before I formed you in the womb, and by the way, I did that, not your parents. That's why you don't look like your sister. I formed you in the womb. Before I formed you in the womb, what? I knew you. Oh, what do you mean you could know me before I was formed in the womb? Because I don't live in time. And because I needed that kind of person right there, I thought about you, about what I wanted you to be like, and then I formed you. And you're not an exception. And before you were born, I sanctified you. I set you apart. And before you were born, I, God, ordained you to be a prophet to the nations. Before you were born, I knew you were supposed to do this for me. You're a glorious individual in God's mind. You are perfect. You're perfect in every way for what you're supposed to do. Therefore, when you say, "I wish I could be," you're yelling at him. I don't believe you had a purpose for me. And I believe you just were too busy having a coffee break when I was made. Number 5, God creates you for good works. I've had to think about this one a long time. God creates you for good works with unique personality. That is, you have the only person that has your personality is you. And it's not your personality only, but it's your talents. God creates you for good works, but the good works require something. They require a certain personality. Did you have any control over what personality you are? No. Who did that? Well, my mom and my dad. Nah. And who determined if you were good in things and not so good in other things? Yeah, why? That's the deeper question. We're trying to answer a very foundational question of life. What on earth is God doing in my life? Answer, he made you to do things nobody else is supposed to do but you. And if you're not doing them, he's going to be bringing you. And if you're only doing a few of them, he's going to be working with you. And that's what he's doing. Because that's why he made you. Look at this. Ezekiel. God's speaking, but the house of Israel will not listen to you, Ezekiel. They won't, no matter how hard you preach. Because they will not listen to me, said God. They won't listen to me. For all the house of Israel, all. This is not a happy day. For all the house of Israel are impudent, they're stubborn, and they're all hard-hearted. and they won't listen to me, God. Behold, since that's true, I have made your face strong against their faces, and your forehead strong against their forehead. Why did I make you this way? Why did I make you stubborn? Because I'm sending you to a stubborn people. And your stubbornness is a gift from me. Isn't that what that says? Wow. So strong that you're like adamant stone, really hard, harder than flint. I mean, you are tough. I have made your forehead. Do not be afraid of them. Man, relax. Don't be dismayed at their looks, though they're a rebellious house. Why not? Because I made you stronger than them. Don't sweat it. I, God, made your personality like a rock. So who's in charge of your personality? And why did he make it that way? Because you're supposed to have that for the good works you're supposed to do. So, when's the last time you thanked God for the personality you wish was different? Come on. Let me hear the words. Dear God. Come on. Dear God. Dear God, I hereby apologize for wishing I was someone else. I can feel hearts just being opened. And this is how I feel God is right now. It's about time. It's about time. Can you relax on this? Can you rest in this? Can you celebrate this? God, what are you doing in my life? I'm doing everything about the good works I made ahead of time for you to do. That's what I'm doing. Because that's what I've asked you to do for me. Good. Number 6, God instructs everyone to do everything for his glory. Therefore, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all for the glory of God. Number 7, God works continually in your life to train and to teach you to fulfill his plan. That's what he does in your and my life. Let's read that number 7 out loud. Here we go. God works continually in your life to train and teach you. What's his plan? The good works he prepared ahead of time for you to do. Therefore, what should we be focusing on in our life? Where are the good works that I am uniquely made to do? Which means this, you'll love doing them. Because he made you to do those things. It's like he made you to do this, and he made you exactly to do that. It's not that you hate doing the good works he made for you. You love them, and you say to yourself, oh, I was made for this. This just comes kind of natural to me. That's the good works. If you're doing things you hate, you're doing somebody else's works. Let them do it. Part number 3. How will my eternity be affected by my response to God's actions in my life? How will my eternity be affected by my response to God's actions in my life? What do I mean? Look up here for a minute. Just a light has to go on this question. I had nothing to do with what good works I'm asked to do. None. And who am I doing them for? Not me. I'm doing them for you, for God. So here's the question that you ought to be asking. Does it make any difference if I do what you want me to do or if I don't do what you want me to do? Does it make any difference? Let me just be a little bit more personal. To me, if I finish my good works or if I don't, if I do only a small part of it and I go do what I want to do, does it make any difference? That's not a selfish question. That's a question about self-interest. That's a good question. It's a good question. Will it make any difference? And the shocking part of it, it makes a difference that lasts forever. because this part of life, from here to here, is just this quick in all of eternity, isn't it? And when you and I die, that's over. We either did them or we did them. Or we did 50% of them, or 20, or 100. Or some people do even more than the ones God wanted you to do. You finished them and you did more. Boy, does he love that. But when you and I see him, what's the response going to be to people who wasted their lives, who really invested their lives? Are you interested in that question? Take a look at part number 3. Your good works will enable you, the good works that you are supposed to do, will enable you to earn the coveted and eternal crowns. When are the crowns given? Not now. They're in heaven. I gave you 2 passages beneath it. Number 1 is for pastors. Look at what it says. Peter says, shepherd the flock of God, which he's talking to pastors, which is among you, serving as overseers, not by compulsion, but willingly, not for dishonest gain, not seeking to make money improperly, but work in your church eagerly. Don't be as lords over those entrusted to you. Don't be a dominating, arrogant person, but be examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, who's the chief shepherd? When he what? Appears. What is that? That's the second coming of Jesus. When the chief shepherd appears, then he's going to respond to what you did. You will receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. What's going to happen to pastors who don't get the crown of glory? What will they wish? I had a chance to earn the crown of glory, but I was arrogant and dominating, and I kept using the ministry to make improper money myself. I didn't really serve God. You didn't get a crown of glory. Can you win that? Only if you are a pastor. This one is specific. Look at the next one. Revelation chapter 2 is a shocking one. Jesus is speaking and he says this, do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. He's writing to a church who's under persecution. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison. Well, why doesn't Jesus protect them? Well, finish the verse. That you may be tested, and you will have, he's giving a prophecy here, Jesus is, you will have tribulation for 10 days. Let's read the last verse together. Here we go. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. Do you hear what Jesus just said to a bunch of Christians? You're going to die. I can save you, but if I save you, you don't get the crown. This is a martyr's crown. And it's only given to those people who are persecuted because of their faith in Christ. And in Jesus Christ's mind, trading your life by dying for him to get the crown is a trade you're going to be glad you did. That's why he didn't stop them. Do you put one and one together? Where's Christ? He's waiting for you not to cave in, not to deny him. Why? He can't wait to give you a crown that lasts forever. Number 2, your good work of enduring persecution for Christ earns you a reward that is absolutely great. Whoa. What is that one? Your good work of getting and enduring persecution for Christ earns a reward that is great. It's big. It's large. So the persecution's this big, and the reward is this big. Really? Yes. Look at this verse. Jesus is speaking in the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are you. Happy are you when they revile you. What? Yeah, be happy. What? And be happy when they persecute you. I don't feel happy. And be happy when they say all kinds of evil against you falsely. They're lying. What? Only a person who's mentally unbalanced would be happy. For my sake, not because you earn it, but because you stand for me. And I don't want you just to be blessed. I want you to dance. and rejoice. And not only rejoice, I want you to be exceedingly glad. I mean, I want you to be thrilled when they revile you and persecute you and say evil things. Why on earth should I do that? For here's the reason why you should do that. Put it together. Great. Is your personal reward for doing this for me. But the reward isn't now. That's where preachers are missing it all across the world. Your reward is great in a certain place. In heaven. Why? That's when it's worth the most to you, because heaven lasts forever and you only live this long. And if I give you a reward now, before you know it, you're dead and it's gone. I want to give you a big reward when it really is worth it on the other side. Ooh, great is your reward in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets. What's this linking? What you do for God now, including enduring persecution with joy, makes a difference for your forever. Next one. Your good works may earn eternal rewards at the judgment seat of Christ. Is this helping you this morning? Yeah. Your good works have the potential of earning something for you. Rewards for you that last forever. Eternal rewards, not present rewards. When? At the judgment seat of Christ? There's going to be a judgment seat of Christ? Paul says this, therefore we make it our aim, whether present or absent, to be well-pleasing to him. Paul, why are you trying to be well-pleasing to Christ? For, here's the reason. Here's why. For we must all appear, show up before the judgment seat of Christ. You mean I come later on at a judgment seat of Christ? Yes. Why do I come before Christ? That each one may receive something from you to me after I'm dead. This is after I'm dead. This is in heaven. That each one may receive the things done in the body. What does that mean? While I still was in my body living on earth, he's going to go over with me everything that I did when I was still living on here. Because when I meet him up here, I'm not in the body anymore. According to what I've done. Whoa! Did you do the good works I made for you or not? Did you or not? Because every one you did, I'm going to reward you for. Whether good, and this is really a Greek word which means worthless in the best manuscripts. Not meaning evil, because that's sins under the blood of Christ. But these are works which I did, which are either good and worth a reward, or they're worthless. Wow. What's this linking? What I do now makes all the difference for me on the other side. Number 4, your good works of donating money on earth will earn you treasure on earth. What's this text say? Jesus speaking again. Don't lay up for yourselves treasures on earth. Don't. Why not? Because you only have it for a little bit. Where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But instead of doing that, this is an imperative. It is a command. I command you to lay up for yourself. It's not for anybody else. I'm supposed to lay up what? I'm supposed to lay up treasures. For myself. Yes. Because in heaven there is an economy. And you're going to want cash when you get there. Yeah, but you think I'm teasing you, and I'm not. I've studied this for five years. I've studied this doctrine. This is what exactly it means. Yourselves treasure, same Greek word as this word treasure on earth, same word, in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. What's Jesus saying? I want you to be rich. But I want you to be rich in a place that's going to mean something to you. Forever. Forever. Because life on earth lasts this long. And I want you to have it here. And the only way to get it here, your good works of donating money on earth will earn you treasure in heaven. This whole issue of seed faith. Be careful. Jesus is revealing where he pays you back is where? In heaven. You give up money now, and he gives it back to you later. Point number 5, your lack of good works or worthless works. Two kind. I didn't have many, or I had a bunch of works, but I did it all for my own glory, not Christ's. Good works will cause you to suffer. Where? At that judgment seat that Christ is there, and each one of us comes before him. 1 Corinthians, Paul's revealing about that judgment seat. Each one's work. What I did when I was on earth will become clear. For the day when I stand before Christ will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire. What's going to be revealed by fire? Not me, the work that I did. So off to the side are all my works that I did. And there's going to be a fire underneath my works while I watch this. This is what I did while I lived. And now I'm in heaven. And the fire will test each one's salvation. No, you're already in heaven. Testing your work, what you did, what kind it is. Because there's just two kinds of works. The kind that gets burned up and the kind that doesn't. If anyone's work, which he has built, endures the fire, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, which means you suffer in heaven. That's why Christ says, I will wipe away tears. Where are the tears? Right here. Because you're going to look back at the good race that God had made just for you and realize, I wasted my life. And I don't get any rewards. Now, is it possible for a person to waste their life as a Christian? Absolutely it is. This next part of the verse proves it. He will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved. You don't lose your salvation if you don't have any good works. You just don't have any reward. You're already in heaven. Your lack of good works or worthless works will cause you to suffer loss. Will suffer loss. Part number 4, live your life for the finish line, which is the second coming of Christ. When is the finish line? The finish line is the second coming of Jesus. He even said it in Matthew chapter 16, verse 27. For the Son of Man will come. The Son of Man is Jesus' his own name. For Jesus, I, will come, future, in the glory of his Father, with his angels. What is that? That's the second coming, when Christ comes out of the heavens with the angels and with the saints, and it says, and, read the next word with me, then. Come on. And then he will reward each according to his what? Works. Jesus, when are you rewarding me? Not now. I'll give you a little bit now, but I can't wait to come back and reward you when I come back. Whoa. Many of you have been misunderstanding God and thinking he's not really been fair to you. Payday hadn't happened yet, friends. Number 1, the primary bestowal of earned rewards occurs at the second coming, not now. There are some now, but not the majority. Number 2, the Lord will reward you personally because your good works were for him. You worked for him. Number 3, the life you choose to live, whether for Christ or for yourself, is your choice. It's nobody else's. Number 4, the life on earth is God's proving ground. What is that? The life on earth is God's proving ground to him, whether you prove to be faithful. What's faithful mean? You do what I asked you to do, which are those good works I prepared ahead of time for you. Number 5, the life you live determines, let's read this one carefully, the life you live determines your eternity. How? What I believe, my faith. If I accept Christ as my Savior and believe he died for me, I will have heaven. If I choose not to believe and try to do it on my own good works, I will not have heaven as a gift. Watch this. What I believe determines where I go when I die. And it's about my sins. Are my sins forgiven or not? How do I get them forgiven? I trust Christ's death for me instead of me trying to figure out a way to solve that, which I can't. That's a gift. So entrance into heaven is only by faith, not by any of these works. Your works will not get you to heaven. You know that. But the second half of this is my works aren't to get me into heaven. And my lack of works, look up here, my lack of works can't take me out of heaven. That's why I suffer loss in heaven. Works are for rewards, which you and I are desperately going to want. So number 5, the life you live determines your eternity, faith in heaven, and works for reward. Now, I want to conclude this with a very, very important thing Jesus said. So, where are my rewards? It's a good question, isn't it? Where are they? Jesus answers the question in a shocking verse. In the last chapter of the Bible, the last thing he said, Jesus says, "And behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is on the earth with you." Oh, what does it say? And my reward is? With me. Yeah, my reward is with me. What do you mean, your reward? No, my reward is to give to everyone according to his work. Jesus, where are my rewards? Oh, they're still with me. They're still with you. Yeah. Behold, I'm coming quickly, suddenly, and my reward is with me. It's with me. It's not with you. It's with me. It's with Jesus. Where is Jesus? In heaven. And when he comes, he's taken the reward that's still with him, and he's going to come around, and he's going to give it to you individually for the works you did for him. And those works, my friends, are on that line right there that nobody else can do but you. Therefore, one thing you want to do in running your race on earth is to finish every one of those good works. So when you meet Jesus, he's got a pile of rewards for you, and you begin eternity with crowns, plural, on your head that you keep forever and receive honor in eternity because you earned them. Oh! Don't you ever again think the thoughts it's not worth it. It shall be worth it all when we see Christ. So for those of you who have been struggling in your life and you've not really been serving him, isn't now the time to turn it around? Just turn around. Stop. Now you got it. Now you understand what on earth is he doing.